Divine right of kings is nothing but the reflection of sunlight upon gold. Crown church are ground to dust. You control the gold will decide the future.
The French Revolution was one of the biggest upheavals in recent history, so it's a fitting backdrop for Assassin's Creed's rebirth on new-gen hardware. A massive shift for the series, Assassin's Creed Unity rebuilt everything from the ground up, from free running to character progression to the way missions were structured. With Assassin's Creed Syndicate about to grow and refine the Assassin's Creed formula with an injection of industrial-age technology, let's take a look back at how Assassin's Creed Unity changed the series. Some of the biggest changes to basic gameplay were found in combat. Instead of setting up enemies for quick counter kills, parrying their blows knocked them off balance, letting fledgling assassin Arnaud Dorian lunge in with a quick flurry of strikes. Dodging bullets became less bloody. Rather than human shields, Arnaud avoided shots with a well-timed diving roll. The fights took on a new rhythm and sense of challenge, and the return of instant healing medicine made the learning curve a little easier. Unlike his predecessors, Arnaud couldn't switch between different melee weapons on the fly, but he could choose his primary armament from a wide variety of weaponry. Players who weren't satisfied with sabers or foils could also try out polearms, heavy weapons, and even rifles that doubled as firearms and non-lethal clubs.
For now, we're going to need weapons.
And that's to say nothing of the guillotine guns introduced in the Dead Kings expansion, which were essentially heavy axes that also fired mortars. Basic exploration went through its share of changes as well. Free running had a lighter, more fluid feel than in earlier games, and it introduced new controls for upward and downward traversal, giving you the means to climb quickly or descend safely if there weren't any hay bales nearby. Building interiors were another new consideration, offering new places to hide from pursuit and hunt for treasure. Also new was the ability to sneak with a button press, letting Arnaud creep past unsuspecting guards and set up ambushes from behind low cover. Fleeing from enemies would leave behind ghostly last-known position images as Arnaud broke their lines of sight. Even Eagle Vision changed dramatically, going from an alternate vision mode to a powerful sonar-like pulse that could reveal hidden enemies and objects through walls, ceilings, and floors.
A party? I wasn't invited.
Neither were the horses.
I'm sure she just misplaced my invitation. I'll find my own way in.
In a lot of ways, Assassin's Creed Unity was the most free-form adventure the series had seen since its very beginning. After you were introduced to Arnaud and served a short sentence at the Bastille, the crowded streets of Paris were completely open for exploration. You could dive into the main story and build the angry, confused Arnaud into a powerful assassin, or you could start poking into the dozens of Paris stories that lay scattered around the newly three-dimensional map, taking on myriad smaller quests in which Arnaud investigated, fetched, and killed for a broad assortment of notable 18th century Parisians.
I devise a humane method of execution.
These missions, along with every campaign mission, side task, and enemy, were rated for difficulty using a 5-star system, warning lower-level players to stay away from high-level assignments.
A modest little update from the traditional Assassin's Blade.
Assassin's Creed Unity also changed the way character progression worked. Players earned skill points through story and co-op missions, opening up progression for those who just wanted to run amok in Paris with a few friends. Skill points could be spent to unlock familiar skills, like money pouch bombs and lockpicking, as well as a few new ones geared specifically toward co-op, like the ability to share Eagle Vision or the effects of medicines. Also, the disguise ability from earlier games' multiplayer made its debut as a single-player skill, letting you slip past enemies as a civilian. Like in Ezio's games, Arnaud could also be beefed up with new weapons and clothing, with the latter comprising a huge selection of coats, belts, and so on. Where Ezio's armor just added to his health bar, however, Arnaud's wardrobe additions were geared toward different playstyles, imparting different boosts to his health, stealth, and combat skills, while also letting him carry more of certain items.
What's our plan?
Our plan. You're not an apprentice anymore, boy. So study your surroundings.
The attitude toward openness extended to the way missions were structured. Not only did you have dozens of optional tasks available at any given moment, but you could take on more than one at once and track them separately. Some missions even let players tackle familiar tasks at their own pace. For example, tailing and chasing became more forgiving, as you could now track your target to their destination if you lost sight of them. Assassin's Creed Unity also introduced black box missions, which filled the area around assassination targets with optional objectives that could make approaching your targets and leaving the scene a little easier. You could, for example, jump out and attack a Templar henchman as you walk through Notre Dame, but by killing one of his goons beforehand, you could wait for your target in the confessional for a much nastier kill.
Hey there. This is probably disorienting, so I'll be brief. I'm Bishop, not my real name, obviously, but that's as much as you'll get today.
Even the modern-day story underwent some serious changes. Rather than living a parallel life as a reluctant assassin or an office-bound hacker, you never left the Animus, or Helix, as the consumer version was called.
See you on the other side.
The sci-fi elements were still a key part of Assassin's Creed Unity, however, and manifested themselves as narration from your new handler, Bishop,
Ooh la la.
and time warp missions that took Arno to some unexpected places. The road from Masyaf to London has been long and littered with dead Templars, but every stop along the way has brought us to fascinating new settings and charming new characters, and each has contributed something major to the evolution of the franchise. Thanks for watching, and keep your eyes on Ubiblog for all things Assassin's Creed.